Zetas Lapitas.
It's Jenna.
And Peter, your quarantine sibs, coming to you live from New York.
The epicenter of this pandemic.
It's Stretch It Out Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I love
it. Best intro award
goes to Peter and Jenna.
Hands down.
From New York.
If that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will.
Right?
What is cracking, everybody? Here we are again.
Welcome to Podcastland.
Yes. Podcastland. We're here again, and we're here early.
We are.
For an extra,
well, I
don't know,
technically
extra episode.
Yeah. Maybe two.
Because we normally don't record until Monday, so we're a few days, 3 days or 3 or 4 days early, depending how you look at it.
This is what quarantine life does.
Yeah.
Extra episodes.
Yes, awesome intro. Like that, listening to that, I was like, oh, I can't wait to use that. It's freaking legit. I do have a really good one, though, that I'm going to be saving, kind of like I don't know. It'd be like a really cool rookie card if we were trading baseball cards, but like an ace.
I sent you another one, too. We got another one from Juan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We got that one. We got this other great one that I'm going to hold on to for a while. We need more. We need people to keep doing them. I think it's awesome. It's super
so much fun. I think it's so fun when we get them and we get to listen to it. And I was like, oh my God, I love it.
It's the best. And it's so easy to do. You just record it on your phone and then text it to me or Audrey or DM us or whatever.
It's just a voicemail. That's all it is.
Yeah, super simple. Just record it, send it. Yeah, or even just, I don't know how to get from my voicemail, though, onto I would say just call me, leave me a voicemail, but I think my mailbox is full. Does anybody check voicemail anymore? I don't really check.
I do.
Voicemail.
I wasn't talking about voicemail, though. I was saying voice memo.
Oh, I thought you said voicemail. I'm like, golly, voicemail. Yeah.
But yes, I do check my voicemail. Because the only people who leave a voicemail is like if it's important. So yeah.
No, like if it's important, you're going to text me. Why would you leave me a voicemail?
Well, maybe it's urgent and they're just calling
How do you check your voicemail?
Are you serious? You got to call the phone number? No, I'm kidding. You just go to your voicemail app. You a baby boomer? Okay. What are you?
It's just been a while.
Kidding.
It's been a while. I'm getting up there. I'm getting a little old. So how's your week been since the last time we spoke? How you been doing with this, with the pandemic? How are we holding up?
Still good. Still doing good, you know? I mean, nothing really. I made dinner.
I know you're working out a lot.
Yeah, I am working out a lot.
So you're going to be one of those few that comes out of this like super fit and like all veiny and like jacked out of your mind. When we get done with this, you're going to be like huge. Is that what's going to happen?
As much as I say yes, I think like you see the workout, but you don't see me eating the cake like 2 hours later, you know? So it's a balance. I'm just finding a balance with it. But I went to Target today because I wanted to get a medicine ball because you get to do a lot of workouts with that with like some sort of a weight, you know? And everything at Target is completely sold out of like workout gear. I think I saw one yoga mat. So,
everyone's exercising from home,
yeah.
So...
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was just choking. You made me laugh, and I'm sipping on a frozen margarita from our favorite place, Lupe Tortilla. Shout out to Lupe.
Oh, that's what you had for dinner.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. And
guys, this place is amazing.
Yeah, the margaritas are incredible. And then you had me.
He's choking on.
You got me just as I was drinking it.
With the cake. Got you with the cake.
Yeah, it's burning a little bit, but
next episode, I'm having a glass of wine. It's a nice glass of wine.
You're committed to that.
Mm-hmm.
You are committed to that. I've been. You were talking about how you've been working out a lot.
Yeah.
Exercising and stuff. Mm-hmm. And,
so Jenna, who did the intro, she's the one that she's been sending me workouts because she's doing, she's quarantined in her tiny little apartment in New York. So she sends me like at home workouts that you can do. And
Oh yes, we talked about her.
Yeah.
You gave her a plug on the last episode. I think it was the last
Yes.
episode, and so now that's cool because for those of you that didn't know, now everybody knows that she she also recorded an intro for us. Man, I'm still choking.
yeah, it's that good of a margarita, huh? Extra.
Yeah,
tequila?
it's.
I'm
good.
shocked that they delivered that, to be honest.
They didn't deliver it. We had to pick it up.
But still, I'm shocked that they let you like leave with alcohol. I didn't know that. Do they do that in Texas, or is that just a quarantine thing?
No, the way they do it, and honestly, I really don't know. But the way they do it is they don't put the alcohol inside the cup.
Oh, so when you get home, you just put the alcohol in.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Here in Vegas, all rules don't care. You could buy something as and you could take beer or something with it now.
Yeah, like how you said, Vegas, all rules. There are no rules in Vegas.
There's no rules in Vegas.
That's why people go to Vegas.
And that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
How's your week been? Other than choking on a margarita?
Yeah, I know. My week's been good. My week's been really good. It's been really busy. Like I told you when we last spoke, I'm very blessed that I'm still working, very blessed to have a job. So I don't try to be careful with my complaints, but I'll tell you.
He's blessed to have the stress of work.
Absolutely. I'm blessed to be working and happy to be busy and working with the people that I get to work with. I'm very fortunate to work with a lot of really good people, and that means so much to me. So it just makes it all worth it. You know, I work with really good people. I work for good people. So very fortunate there.
Shout out to people that Nick works with. I can't even talk right now.
I work with good people, great people. So
maybe I shouldn't have that glass of wine.
No, I think you should. I think it'll make the next episode a fun episode. We're going to be talking about we're just going to actually Disney stuff on the next episode. So that's cool. Well, not Disney stuff. When you say that could be so many different things. We're going to talk about actual real stories about us as kids at Disneyland, because we have thousands. So
I have a great one. It's not at Disneyland, has something to do with Disney, but I have a great one, and I think Alessa's going to appreciate it.
Preach. She's going to preach. So, but this today, episode though. Yes,
yeah, I was like, but right now we're going to talk about, what are we talking about, Nick?
We are going to talk about kindness.
Yay! And how it is your superpower.
Because it is.
It is.
It is the ultimate superpower, really.
Ba-ba-ba.
Really, if you think about it. And right now, man, what a time to wield that superpower of kindness and use it to help people in need. There's just a lot of still uncertainty, right? I know a lot of people are like me. We're, doing the best we can, trying to make the best of it. There's a lot of people though that are not in as great of circumstances. So, I try to, be sensitive to that. But if you're one of the people that can spread some joy, some kindness, I hope that you're doing it. And I hope that if you're not, I hope you're listening to this and we can convince you otherwise if you're not doing it now. Because I think that this is a great time for people to just say, you know what? I'm not doing anything else, right? For some of us, right? Mm-hmm. Like even on the weekend, right? There's not going to be a hell of a lot to do. And if there's something that you're passionate about, something that you love doing or that you like talking about, like put it out there. Mm-hmm. Put it out there, because that's the best version of you. And that is a huge form of sharing kindness, and encouragement to the world, and just sharing with people your heart, whatever that is. Right. But where are you finding kindness lately? I'm seeing a lot of it on social media. I'm seeing it on the news. The news is doing a decent job, I think, of highlighting some of the bigger things, but I'm seeing a lot of just really cool acts of kindness on social media. I've had some awesome acts of kindness in my week that really kind of lifted my spirits when I needed it. What about you, Audrey? You seen any kindness that you can celebrate?
Well, I think I'm seeing it mostly on social media because we're not really going out my highlight for the week was going to Target today. And
Target.
Yeah, not too many people at Target, actually. So, but no, I'm seeing a lot through social media. And I think that's a great way that it can bring, especially coming from like people in Italy where they're, just a lot of stuff is affecting them over there. So, but it's nice to see just like, I can't remember. I wish I remember. I saw a video last night. I cannot remember their names, but these two boys and they're brothers, they're twins actually, and they play like violin like perfectly, right? And so they've been playing music
Nice.
to spread like just smiles pretty much. That's what they said they want to do. They were like, we just want to play live music for you guys. So they'll go on like Instagram live and stuff like that. And I think that's awesome because I'm like, if you think about it, you could do anything to put a smile on someone's face, to be kind and like just, putting a spark in someone's day. And
yes.
So, yeah, those boys are in Italy, and honestly, I was like, just keep replaying the video because I just like the song, how they did it. It was an amazing song. They did it like a remix style, but it was just two violins, and one of the boys starts playing the violin as if it's like a guitar. It was really awesome. Those kids are gonna go far. I'll tell you that.
That is so cool. I love hearing stuff like that.
And they're in Italy. I'm never gonna meet them, but I was like, this is an awesome video. Like, spread it around. Put a smile on someone's face.
Spread the joy, spread the kindness. And that's a big, I think when someone does something like that, I think you can look at it as a small act of kindness, but I think for some of us, putting ourselves out there like that makes it a really big act of kindness.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Man, I'm still choking.
Don't give Nick a margarita, guys. Need a lemon drop martini. Yes.
But I like how, at least the population, I guess, here in America and pretty much everywhere in the world, if you think about it, everyone for the most part is seeking out kindness and highlighting it in some fashion. And we're not really giving a lot of attention to the things that don't matter right now. And I think that's because there is so much uncertainty that it's kind of allowed us to be, to make it easier for us to just focus on the things that we can control. And I think a lot of people are realizing like, I can do something kind today. I can be kind to somebody else. I can provide joy or some type of joy or beauty to the world around me, which is cool. And social media, the internet provides just a really cool platform for people to do that and share it.
Yeah. Well, there's so many different like ways, right, of doing acts of kindness, whether it's, you could do it financially, donating money to, somebody who needs it or needs to pay their bills, things like that. But then you can also spread kindness by like donating your time or your services. And I think that's what the whole country, everybody globally is coming together. Yeah.
And I like that people are highlighting that.
Yeah. Rather than the negative stuff, I always say, don't want your negative vibes.
Yeah. Gotta keep it positive.
Keep it positive. So then we're going to go.
Well, that's why we're talking about kindness. And it really is, it's like the best thing I think that all of us can give to other people. And man, it's so helpful sometimes. Did you have anybody here recently that was kind to you? Hold on one second. You need to share your story, and I've got to go see why we have like dishes and pans like being thrown around in my kitchen.
My story? Which story?
What I just asked you about.
Of somebody doing an act of kindness for me? Okay, so I think Nick has left to go see the dishes. I'm not quite sure which story he's talked about because I think I have so many different stories that I can't even remember which ones I have told or haven't told.
Great story, Audrey. That was great. Good job.
Which story are you talking about?
Honestly, I have no clue.
Oh, Nick just put me. I'm like, I haven't even come in contact with much people.
I had to go ask my son to just try to quiet down a little because he was like literally throwing the dishes around. So surprised really they're all still bad. In one piece, the dishes.
It really wasn't that bad, Nick.
To me, it was super loud. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is he doing in there? So
I'm like, I could barely hear anything. Listeners, can you guys hear? Let us know. DM me.
well, not now, because now he's
Just kidding.
he's probably stopped entirely. He's probably like, well, I'll just wait till Dad's
He's
done.
like, I'm not gonna do dishes today.
Right.
I thought you
So-
wanted to talk about the story of the mailman. I was like, that's not an act of kindness. I was like, if anything, I just creeped the guy out.
But it was an act of kindness that you were finally delivering what was due to Chris, and even though there's some late breaking news on that story. I don't know if you wanted to get into that now or if you wanted to wait till after the commercial break, but that's up to you.
We'll follow up at the end.
Okay, so if you're listening, there's gonna be there's the plot thickens on that whole video that we posted. If you haven't gone to the Facebook page, go to the Stretch It Out podcast Facebook page. Check out the video that we posted of Audrey finally delivering the letter to our biggest fan, our first ever listener, I think, too, Chris. So
I actually put that in the letter.
Yeah, he's probably soon to be the only one still listening, but it doesn't matter. He's always going to be the top of our list. I'm just kidding now, because we got some awesome listeners. You got both of you guys are awesome. So it's gonna get old. It's gonna get old. I'm gonna murder that thing, like destroy it. So anyway, so we'll talk about that later. Then Audrey, you're gonna share with our listeners the plot change there. I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be. It's just funny because I'm just like, when you told me about it, I was like, you got to be kidding me. That it just doesn't, like, you can't write this stuff. You can't.
I wish you would have seen my face, because I like looked at you. I told you, I was like, I did a double take, and I'm like,
and then you felt like you had a fever come over you right away.
Yeah, like my stomach just kind of dropped a little bit, and I'm like trying to. Did I? No, I didn't. Did I?
You ever get so scared, scared that you taste metal in your mouth?
Like I was scared to open it. That's
yeah. You're like, no, I did not forget that. Oh my gosh. And you were thinking to yourself, you're like, the video was so good too. Like, how do I go back on that? That's going to be fun to talk about.
Part 2.
I should say it's going to be fun for me to hear about, because you're going to get to talk about it. Oh my gosh.
So that's going to be at the end of this episode, guys. So stay tuned.
Yeah. And you know what? What's awesome is that this is episode 10. And you know what I forgot to do at the beginning? We're still kind of at the beginning of this episode. I keep forgetting that there is a possibility that somebody new could listen to this, somebody that doesn't know who we are. Oh. Because eventually we might have a friend or family member that's like, actually, this is worth sharing with somebody, that's not, in the family, or somebody that'll, a friend of mine. Eventually, I think that could happen. So we should probably, like, just real quickly at the beginning, say something like, usually, when I do the, hey, welcome to Stretch It Out podcast or whatever, I can say something like, hey, my name's Nick. And then you would just say, my name's Audrey. And then that's it. And then we move on. So
oddball, guys.
Yeah.
Audge Podge. Audge. Yeah. Call me Audge.
Yeah, don't call her that.
Call me. Okay, so back to kindness is your superpower. Tangent. Yes, we went like on a tangent off of a tangent. That's what we did.
But you had some cool stuff. I wanted you to open up those. You got the troll. I'm not going to steal your thunder, right? You go, girl. Get it,
girl. Well, I was just talking about, like, in a world full of trolls, especially internet trolls, right? Be someone that can bring peace to a situation. So I think it's so easy for us to become, whether it's stressed out, upset, angry, anything like that, during certain situations, and allowing, like we said before, you're giving away your power when you get upset, right?
Don't give away your power. Don't do it.
What did we say instead of, I'm having a brain fart right here.
I can smell it.
I know. It's pretty big. What is it? Instead of react, we've said it before. It's going to bug me out.
What did I say?
We said it before on a previous episode, where it was like...
recognize the intentions, the intent over the content?
No, but watch, it's going to come back to me. It was like, I always say it too. That's why it's like bugging me. Instead of react to a situation, it's something else. Okay, ignore that, guys. But in a world full of trolls, be someone that can bring peace to a situation. Don't give away your power when you're stressed out. Nick.
Yeah, I don't know why you're saying that.
Coronavirus.
Do you have a friend named Nick or something that struggles with that?
so many friends.
Hey, shout out to you, Nick.
Nick Stretch. So many Nick Stretches. No, but like, okay, when you think about kindness as your superpowers, right? And you're always, I think a lot of times when people say that, they think like, oh, okay, I need to be kind to others. It's always about like others. It's easy to think like that, right?
Yes.
But you got to remember that it's your own independent strength for yourself.
Oh, dang. It just got deep, y'all.
Did. Take your voice deep. So you need to be kind to yourself. So this was my example. And I literally have it written down. I said, if you're stressed out over something, cough, cough, Nicholas, cough. It's okay to take that moment, you know? Even if you need more than a moment, you can take a few moments. But it's okay to just take that moment to calm yourself down. And, you know, especially when it comes to stress, we've talked about it before. You need to, organize your priorities and figure out. So it's, hey, if it's 5 o'clock and you're off work, take that extra 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, and organize that stress and, pack it away for the night, because now it's going into your family time or your personal time. And that's, right. You don't think about it, but that is a form of you being kind to yourself.
And which is actually making you probably a much kinder person to be around for others.
Yes.
That's why I said that's deep.
It's the same thing of like, if you think about it, you work out, right? So there's people who work out 7 days a week. Awesome. That's great for you guys. That's not me being kind to myself. That's me torturing myself. So.
Right.
Someone
you
who's
crossed the line for yourself on that.
Yeah. Mine is, 5 days. I need a break every now and then. But how are you being kind to yourself mentally, whether it's physically or, even the things that you eat sometimes? I don't want to go into nutrition, but that's also a big thing of you being kind to yourself. So
I agree. That's why I just ate Lupe tortilla and I'm drinking a margarita.
I'm really excited. Can we just end this episode so I can go ahead and get a glass of wine? No, I'm joking.
Technically we could, because we're in extra land right now. This is all extra because we're a 1 hour operation per week. Like that's what we do. So we're in overtime.
I mean, technically, you left me to go tell Noah to go stop banging pots and pans. I could leave you to go pour a glass of wine.
You technically could. You could, because I've got right here. I've got my. I wish I knew how to play Take a Tater and Wait, but
that's a classic. No one could play that one.
Yeah, I could serenade the listeners, the guests. I almost said the guests like I'm freaking hosting like a hotel conference or something.
Yeah, I hate my laugh sometimes. You ever do that? Oh, that's me not being kind to myself. See?
That was random. Yeah, so rando. And then, but I love how you caught yourself. I love it. I love it. Because you realized you were like, holy crap, I'm in Podcastland. And I happen to be on the Stretch It Out podcast where like it's all about corrective perspective.
Everyone's going to call me out.
Yeah, I hope they do.
Oh, God. If you guys saw me on a day-to-day, you'd see the struggle.
No, the struggle is real. We're all a mess. That's why it's so important to talk about this stuff all the time. I think
so many people think that it's just easy, and it's like, it's really not. I think
all the time. And you know what? Being kind all the time isn't easy. No. Being kind all the time is not easy. And people that walk around just say, hell yeah, like it's just so easy. It's not. But it is super impactful and super helpful when you do work hard at being kind, right? Mm-hmm. It really does go a long way. So being kind is huge. I like that you brought up trolls because it makes me think of bullies.
Yeah. I mean, that's all a troll really is, right? They're just there to antagonize and pick on.
Yes. But we deal with them all the time. Everybody's going to have to deal with them. It
doesn't matter what age you're in. You're always dealing with a bully.
You're dealing with them in corporate America.
Yeah.
You're dealing with them if you're an entrepreneur. You're going to deal with them all the time. And I think what's important is that you learn how to deal with them and not how to avoid them. Some of us.
Yes.
parents fall into that, right? We, as parents, we're like, man, I got to protect my kid. I got to protect my kid. I got to protect my kid. And really, it's not so much protect as it is prepare, right? You're preparing them for these real world situations that are going to happen. The best way to prepare them for that is to allow them to go through some of this stuff while they're still living under your roof and your influence, right? And then, prepare them for that, because they're not checking any boxes when they're kids. They're going to experience all that stuff just throughout the rest of their life as they get older, with just different types of people, different extremes, and the bullies are always going to be there. And
Always.
the people that are truly good people and that are spreading kindness and being kind, being the best version of themselves every day, the people that are using kindness as their superpower, I promise you, those are the ones that are always going to come out on top. Those are the ones that are always going to win. Those are the ones
those are the ones that are remembered.
Always. And most respected and loved. And the people that are kind, right? That do that. Those are the people that, even if they fall, stumble, you're going to see those people always be promoted in front of all their haters, in front of all the people all their bullies, right? You will see that. I think it happens time and time again, and it happens for the right people with the right hearts. So when I say kindness is your superpower, I genuinely mean that. I think just being kind, just speaking kindness, saying, living by that rule. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, right? Living by that. I think that's really, to put it in simplest terms, just don't say it. And I try not to even think it. And
yeah, you're much better at it than me, Nick. Because I know
Why would you say that? I'm really not that. No, I think you're great at it.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. My brother is seriously the nicest person, the most kind-hearted person.
Oh, goodness. Here we go.
You will
ever keep going.
Shut up. Never mind. I take it back, guys. You know who you remind me of, Nick? You remind me of Grandpa. Because I remember every time I would be so upset with whether it was Alyssa or I was mad at Mom or Dad, for grounding me or something, or Grandma. Oh my God, Grandma. Poor Grandma. She put up with so much crap with me.
Oh my gosh. But, talk about the struggle being real, Grandma. Rest in peace, Grandma.
I would always complain to Grandpa because it was so easy to confide in him, right? But my grandfather, and I'll never forget, he always told me, he said, I don't hate a single person on this planet. He goes, they may make me upset. He goes, but I will never hate anybody.
Amen.
And I always was like, God, how can you be like that, Grandma? I was over here like, I hate Nick. I hate Alyssa.
You're like, I have so much hatred. Where do I put it? If you're telling me I can't put it anywhere.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean? I'm pissed off at them, And I'm a kid and everything. But he always told me that. And even going into as a teenager, he, because I would complain. I'm sorry, Dad, but I would complain about Dad. And he'd always tell me just, I don't hate anybody. And he'd always say, he's like, I don't hate. He goes, they make me mad. I dislike them sometimes. He goes, but I'll never die hating somebody. And so
that's huge.
I'm not going to lie. You remind me so much of him now. Maybe not when we were growing up, because I've seen that other side of you.
Yeah, I was a huge prick. For the record, let the record state that I was a huge prick. Everybody knows that.
But I didn't take it personally. I more so saw it with you and Alyssa, where I was like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah, I was bad. I was bad even through
you and Alyssa taught me a lot, because I was like, ooh, I don't want to be like Nick, but I don't want to be like Alyssa, so I'm going to be a nice in between.
Yeah. It's a good new country song that someone came out. I like it. It's a good song, In Between. I'm in between. It's a good song.
That's okay. That sounds a little awkward there, but
it's a good song. I'm just saying. I don't know who sings it, but it's a good one.
But going back to that, Nick, telling our listeners, people who don't know Nick has never spoken that I've ever heard negatively on a person's
Facebook page ever. I don't put it on their Facebook page.
He doesn't put it on the internet. He's never spoken negatively on someone's personality or their traits, if that makes sense. I've heard you speak negatively on like a situation, like, oh, it should have been handled like this, or but
Right.
never on like a person's
Everyone's got
trait.
an opinion.
Yeah. And I mean, I love you, Nick, but sometimes me and Courtney, we like, we're girls and we like to, there's some situations that really irk us. And
I
Nick
get it.
Nick will hear us talking negatively. And Nick is the first one to be like, well, you don't know what their situation is, and it's kind of like, as inspiring as it is, it's annoying sometimes. And Courtney knows this because I've told her, where I'm like, God, there's like sometimes I just want to vent, but I can't even vent around Nick because he's so positive about people.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying too, that there is almost like a naivete there as well. I'm probably sometimes a little, like, to your point, because I get what you were saying, like sometimes there's like triggers, red flags, like, hey. And I think that sometimes, I think that's why you and Courtney, sometimes even some of my friends, are that way. They're a little overprotective because it can come off as like Nick's like so naive, he doesn't see that this guy's gonna like rob him, right? I get that. I totally get that.
Yes.
I see, and I didn't know how to put that into
words.
words, but I'm glad that you're understanding it, because I get it. I totally understand that.
But at the same time, it's like, because your kindness is your superpower, right? And you've been so kind to all the people that are around you, and you just want to spread, love and positivity and things like that.
My favorite thing to do.
You have now these people that surround you that are now willing to protect you because they're loyal to you,
Amen.
You have those friendships because your friends know that you're never, I guess it's more like a girl thing. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think guys really do that, but a lot of girls like they talk smack on one another behind each other's backs. It's like you're nice to they're each other's face, and then they turn around. So it's really hard to find like a loyal female friend.
I think, yeah, I totally get that, but I think if we're talking about, kindness, right, and you're talking about like with female, even with males, it's the same thing. I mean, there's people that have, just negative things to say about some people, or a negative opinion. And I don't think that, and this is why I wanted to have that episode when I was saying, talk about recognizing the intent over the content, is because sometimes if you're mature enough to be able to step back and look at the behavior as a behavior and not the person. Okay. So start with that. Like, okay, I don't like what they're saying and how they're saying it, or I don't like what they think of me, whatever. But does that change who they are as a person? Right. Most of the time it doesn't. If you're mature enough, again, it's not, in mind to be able to go, okay, that I'm giving you a fact there. Okay. But if you can separate that, a lot of times when you consider people kind of saying things that are negative about other people, it makes it easier for you to maybe not fully understand it, but at least get an idea of where it's coming from. And sometimes the intentions are as innocent as someone just trying to feel you out and see where you're at on something. And maybe they're kind of testing it out on this other individual that you both know, because maybe it's something they're insecure about with themselves. And they're just kind of throwing it out there to see like, hey, is that something you don't like? Or is that something that you think is stupid? Because if it is, I'm going to laugh it up with you and chop it up with you about this other person. But really deep down inside, like that's an issue that I have. So now I know you don't like that. I know I'm getting deep. Like I'm going real deep. Yeah. Like niche here. But my point is though, a lot of times for me, what I notice a lot of times with like the ladies, usually that's kind of what seems to be most common, is them just trying to figure out like, do you agree with me or disagree with me on what it is that I dislike? And maybe it's because you're not sure if you really understand it, and you know what I mean? And it's hard for people to, to start a conversation and go, hey, I want to talk about this individual and how it impacts me. And right, we keep our conversations pretty shallow. However, there's some very in-depth things happening in these shallow conversations.
Yeah.
And we're doing it just kind of naturally in our subconscious. And I think women are even better at it. They're like, there's just a lot more color involved. And I think that's why so many women misunderstand each other, where men, we're more like shapes and colors, right? Give me like a steak and a truck and I'm happy.
Yeah.
It's a little bit easier, I think, for men to understand each other. But I think women are just there's a lot more color, like I said, a little bit more complicated. And I think that's why it's really easy for them to sometimes just for you to just go,
and it's easier,
like totally missing it.
For us women to understand the situation of another woman.
Mm-hmm.
Versus if it's you, like there's been times where, bring Courtney into this, but Courtney and I have discussed something and said like, well, and we showed it to you and like, you didn't understand what we were seeing.
Yeah. Well, because I'm not a woman.
Yeah, exactly. So in your head, you're like looking at the surface, but her and I are like 9 levels deep.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, did you not see? Like, because she blinked twice? Like,
right. Yeah, and that's how it is when we watch when Courtney and I are watching TV too. It's the same thing. Like I don't know how she watches some of the stuff she watches, but it's just really constantly women arguing with each other or women upset with another man. It's constant. And I don't get it. I struggle to understand that sometimes.
I mean, there's times where it takes a lot to...
Point taken.
It takes a lot to like get under my skin. I think you're aware of things that get under my skin, but if it's, I think so.
Okay, I don't know because I don't ever. That's one of my favorite things about hanging out with you and hanging out with Alyssa and Dad is I really don't feel like I have to worry about getting under anybody's skin. I'm 100% me, right, all the time, and probably even more so when I'm with you guys. When I'm with my family, I'm just you guys know.
I'm saying like what certain things can get under my skin. Like a big one is like when I don't like saying
saying like things like I don't
like I don't like lazy traits,
I get it.
When someone's lazy and they don't want to, that's the like like, oh yeah, that's gonna bug Audrey. And that's kind of something where it's like it's not so much that like the person bothers me.
It doesn't bug it. Yeah, I don't think it bugs you in that sense.
I just want to understand like why doesn't that person have the same drive as somebody?
But even that, right? So right there, that's a perfect example of what I was just talking about. It's almost like we planned it. I don't know if we
truly didn't, guys.
Yeah, but that was awesome because right now in this moment, right now, I could easily take what you're saying to heart and take that, like from a negative place, even though I know you and I know your heart. And for you, that stems from a place of caring, like genuinely caring, because like you said, I want to understand that. It's not that you're like, oh, like I want you to be who I want you to be. And I want to, make the world around, you genuinely are going, man, like, why wouldn't you want to do these things that will help you? Right.
Yeah.
And I get that. And you're doing it because you really want to see better for them. You want everybody that you're around to reach their full potential. So to me, that's actually a really good thing, right? It's coming from a good place. But if you were saying that,
better.
Does it?
It does, because that's everything. I always just want to understand, like, what's the motive behind this action,
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I always question. That's my biggest
But
thing.
like, my point is, if you didn't care, Audrey, then you wouldn't want to. You wouldn't care to, right?
Yeah.
You would just go, oh, well, that's freaking ridiculous, and just move on with your life.
Yeah.
But you want to go deeper. You want to know, and so you'll take the time with these, with individuals to really try to find those things out, and then probably go the extra mile to try to see if you can influence some type of change to help them start, working toward their potential, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's one right decision away from doing that. So if you're listening right now, don't forget that if you feel like you're in a place, like I just need to make some change, I need to do some things. So maybe some of us is like, man, I got to turn my life around a whole, 180. Just know that you're just one decision away from doing that. So don't make it seem like a huge wall you got to climb over. It's one decision. It starts with one, and you move from there. And then you get off of Audrey's list. She won't hate you anymore. So that helps. I'm just kidding.
I don't hate anyone, guys.
No hate. No
hate zone.
But think about kindness. Think about how think about the people in your life that you're just like, man, that person really is a kind individual. And you know that they're kind because they genuinely care and want to be kind. They care about you. They have no hidden agenda, right? They're not trying to use you for anything, like those people, right? And there's a lot of those people. And it's sad that there's not more, in my opinion, but there's a lot of those people. I have the privilege of having a lot of them as my friends here. I have family members, you know, I'm very blessed to be surrounded by a lot of those people. But there's a reason those people have the influence that they have, and it's usually because they're genuine. You know, it's authentic. Their kindness, and that's when I say kindness is your superpower. That's what I'm really talking about. It's just really kindness in its purest form. You know, not the act of kindness with ill intent behind it, right? I'm not talking about that. And some people can, you know, I'm saying that because I don't want it to get misconstrued or taken out of context. I'm talking about that kind of kindness. Everyone right now, if you're listening, you are capable of being kind. Everybody is.
Everyone is.
There is, I mean, that is something that all of us can do. Not all of us can pick up a basketball and dunk it. Not all of us can throw a baseball 95 miles per hour right down over the home plate. But every single one of us can be kind, and every single one of us can work to get better and better and better at it. And the impact that has on the world, even just your world around you, you'll never even really know, right? And that brings me to this really cool story. It's a good example of how kindness really helped me out this week. And like I said, I'm blessed to have a lot of I work with and hang out with a lot of very kind people. And this week, you know, work wise, I just a lot on my plate, a lot of things going on. Feeling a little overwhelmed, feeling a little down, feeling kind of, I guess you could say I was feeling a little bit inadequate. You ever feel like that? Like I'm not going to be able to get through this? Just me?
No.
Do you ever feel like that?
All the time.
Like,
when I have a job.
were you sucking down some wine right there? Because it seemed like you just kind of left the room for a minute.
I was drinking my water right now. I put myself on mute so you can't hear me gulp it. So
okay, good. Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Nice. So you know what I'm talking about, to feel that way. And sometimes it just happens. I think it's normal, right? I'm not saying that we should never feel that way, but I was having a moment and kind of struggling this week, and it was really cool. I was jumping on, you know, with our company, we're pretty busy all the time. I've always been really busy, which is good. I think my company does a good job of making sure that everybody's got just enough on their plate. But I was jumping on from one call to another, and I got onto this conference call a little.
Wait, can I cut you off? Can we talk about before? Okay, so Nick and I were going to record on Tuesday, right?
Oh gosh, yeah, you're going away. Okay, yeah, take it, go. Yep.
That way it can show what the story is. Okay, so we were about to record on Tuesday, and normally, was it Monday or Tuesday? I'm pretty sure it was Tuesday, but normally we record anywhere from 3 o'clock my time, so Pacific Standard Time. So either 3 o'clock or 3:30. We always
5 o'clock real time, 3 o'clock your time.
Central time, 5 o'clock. And so, I mean, I was just having I'm in quarantine, so it's just a chill day. But every day's a chill day in quarantine.
Chilling.
So Nick calls me at exactly 3 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I, answer the phone. I'm like, okay, we're ready. So we start talking about the episode and stuff. And Nick's like, okay, let's just record. Let's just do it. But I could already tell in Nick's voice that either one, he was being rushed because he had something to do after the recording of the podcast, which I get that. So I was like, oh, he wants to record right now. So I was setting up my stuff, getting ready.
Stumbling everywhere, trying to get the mic.
I wish I can. I have this vision in my head of Nick pacing and bouncing okay, we're ready. Let's do this. Okay, we're going to do it. Okay, let's go. Yeah.
Because that's how I am all the time.
And I was I felt rushed, even though all my stuff was set up, I still felt rushed. And I was like, okay, I'm ready. Let's do it, And so then finally he's like, can we just, okay, I need to take a breath. Let me take a breath. And I just need to take a breather because I've been working all day. And it's just like work is crazy. It's stressed out, which is why I was talking about earlier. I was like, take a moment for yourself. It's okay if we don't record.
Yes.
These extra episodes. And so if anybody has seen Kevin Hart live or Kevin Hart's a comedian.
I love Kevin Hart.
He I don't remember the joke that he does, but he does this thing where he's like, so you want me to go? So we're going to go? No, we're not going to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go.
I wish I could remember that one too, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, I think he's talking about.
Because that's what I sounded like when you called me or when I called you.
When Nick called me, that's exactly what he sounded like. He was like, I just need like a minute because I just got off work and, and like the kids are here and Courtney and we got dinner, and he's like going on with all this stuff. And as he's stressing out, that's when I realized, I'm like, so this is why he wants to hurry up and record, because he just wants, this is like a project where it's like he just wanted to knock it out of the way, and especially coming right off of work, this can be a project. So I understand, like, it for me, Podcastland, as much as I love coming into it, it is hard to start up because it's like
you have to get there. You have to get there. It's just like any other place that you have to go to. It's the same thing with the gym,
Yeah,
you love being at the gym, but you have to get there. You know what I mean? You have to go there. And just like it's like actors. Actors have to go there whenever they're acting. You know what I mean? They have to go there, like mentally. They have to find that place. We're doing the same thing.
Yeah. So Nick was just really, really stressed out on Tuesday. And I know I shouldn't say that I was laughing, but I was just like, after I got off the phone with him, I was like, we're not recording tonight and it's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
and it was okay. And it was great for me because I ended up walking across the street, hanging out with the Nabes, hanging out with Matthew and Chris, had a couple drinks, just chilled. And it was great for me because I really needed that. Not saying that we couldn't have recorded. I think we could have. If you weren't being kind and kind enough to recognize that I was kind of like probably not in the best place mentally. And you were like, okay, let's record. We would have gotten through it. I mean, you know what I mean? But I think it's great that you were able to recognize that and go, you know what? Like, we don't have to record right now. Like, we can record tomorrow. And I was like, okay. Immediately I was like, oh yeah, cool. Like, why am I making it stressful? Right. And it wasn't because any of that is stressful to me. It was because everybody I think can relate to this. Sometimes when you're working, and you're working consistently, right? For, 10, 12 hours, when you finally like put your head up to look around you and kind of where you're at, it's kind of like, you ever play at the beach, you go play in the water and the waves and you don't realize that you're moving further and further down the beach until a couple hours later. Right. And you're looking around, you're like, where the heck am I? Right. And then it's like complete panic. Cause you don't know where do I go? Like, am I lost? Right. It's kind of the same thing. Like you come off of work sometimes and you're just like, what the heck is going on? Like, I don't know, lost.
Yeah. It's honestly, I call it
overwhelmed.
Like, you're still in that not work mentality,
yes.
but
you're not shutting it off.
You're still in like a work mode where it's like, go, 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 go. And
there's no switch for work either, right? I don't have that switch where I can just go click like there's a fade. Like I can maybe fade. I tend to DJ fade real quick on Fridays, right? I want to fade out real fast. And, but it's hard to do, you're going constantly. And that's why I think I was so stressed out, but, I can move on now to my part of the story now that you've got your part out.
So everybody keep in mind how stressed out he was to the point where I can hear it in his voice. Okay. So now go back to your story.
So then I think it was the next day, right? That I was on this call.
Yes, because
it was either the next day or day after that. But anyway, you guys will all remember, and I love how I ask our listeners questions like they're going to answer.
They're not answering?
Do you guys remember how we got our name for the podcast? Do you remember how we got our name for the podcast, Audrey?
Yes. Your good buddy.
Yes.
Made a recommendation.
We did a lot of work trying to find a good name, and we had some really cool names. I mean, we listed all kinds of names. You name it. You name it. We found it and found out that somebody else already had it. Okay. And that's what was happening like constantly. And I went out to lunch with him and a good friend of mine, Dan. We went out to lunch and Jack asked me, I think he asked me, or I brought it up, like, hey, yeah, we're starting a podcast. And I said something like, hey, we don't, I don't know what the name's going to be. And we had never thought about it. And he was just, all he goes was, well, why don't you use your last name? Right. like something with stretch in it. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. And I think it was, I don't know, a couple days after that we were like, okay, Stretch Now podcast done. So shout out to Jack. Yeah. Another shout out to Jack. I don't know if he's still listening. I don't know if anybody is, but I know Chris is. Love you, Chris. And Andy. Love you, Andy.
Yeah, and Andy.
No, we know the fams listening. We know Alyssa's listening. They don't have a choice. So we make them listen. Yeah, we pay them monthly to listen to our podcast. But Jack, it was cool because I got on a conference call that he was on because I work with him. And long story short, I jumped on a couple minutes early and people were already kind of chatting. And I quickly realized that Jack was kind of complimenting me. And what was great about it was that he didn't even know that I had jumped on the call. And it was just, I don't know, it was super cool because all he did was speak kind words. And, you know, I don't know if you're a believer or not, but for me, like you just put it out there into the universe and God can do amazing things with just a couple of words. And I think because it was genuine, it really came from the heart. And like I said, he didn't know I was on the call and he just, was just saying some kind things that were encouraging and really went a long way for me when I got on there. And it was just cool, and then he even took it a step further and really kind of was just like, said something like, Nick, I've never had anything bad to say about you or something like that. Like you're a great coworker. And it was just cool. And something that seems, I think, really small to most people. But to me in that moment, in that time, couldn't have come at a better time, man. And,
but also it wasn't, I'm going to toot your horn here, Nick. It wasn't just him. Didn't you say other people you had just trained earlier that week?
Yes.
Were saying
earlier that day, like that day, I think I got to do a cool, webinar where I was showing some folks that I work with how to pull some reports and whatnot. And that's what they were talking about when I jumped on. And I thought, man, that's really cool. Like very encouraging for me. Just, it reminded me of, just a simple fact that what I'm doing isn't for nothing. And sometimes we feel that way. We just feel so overworked that we're like, God, like we forget about why we're doing it. Mm-hmm. And the people's lives that we're touching in the process and the other people that are dealing with the same things. Like these people on those calls are all going through the same things I'm going through. They're all stressed out, overwhelmed, overworked. Right. Mm-hmm. So just really cool. And I thought that was a cool example for me of, just a direct hit for me that was just much needed. And talk about just lifting my spirits in that moment. Like immediately, like I just felt like I had more air in my lungs and I had more skip in my step, It's pretty cool.
Reset you.
Yeah. And just such a simple act of kindness. I mean, so simple, but it was just so genuine and like I said, so sincere. And I want what I felt and the fact that I was able to acknowledge it and what I felt there in that moment, I want to provide that for people. That's like my favorite thing to do. I want to be there for those people when they need it and be a source of, encouragement, especially when you really, really need it. Right. And kindness is the vehicle to bring that to people.
Snaps.
I'm out of margarita.
Oh no. Get this man a margarita.
Time to start drinking water now because every time you drink a margarita, it's like super dehydration. So it's like 3 waters for every 1 margarita.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Drink a Truly. Just kidding. We don't encourage alcoholism, guys. Well, I guess now I can share my story of Chris's letter being sent. Right?
I hope you guys watched the video. I hope you did. If you're sitting down and you're listening to this and you're not out and about and you can you can pause the podcast and go watch the video, go do that. Go to our Facebook page right now. Go check out the video, like it, and please share it and promote it for us because we want more people. We want to help more people. We want to get more feedback. And what a great way for you to share and spread kindness.
And you can see what Quarantine Audrey looks like too.
Yep. You get to see what Quarantine Audrey looks like. And she got ready. She put herself together before she did what she had to do, which is good.
Oh, a little bit, of course. I was going out in public.
Yeah. So anyways, that is for those people that paused it and came back, welcome back. And now you can hear the rest of the story.
So
Audrey, The floor is yours. I'm not even here.
Not even there. So
I don't want to interrupt you while you're telling your story.
I knew you were gonna do it.
Did you know I was gonna do that?
Yeah.
See,
Okay, so you guys, my brother interrupts me every time I speak. And I'm not the only one who notices it because Courtney yells at you all the time. She's like, do you not see that your sister is in the middle of telling a story?
Yes.
And
I
you're
do
like,
it a lot on this podcast, don't I?
It's okay. You do it a lot in general, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if
it's
you
just weird.
I don't know if you do it to other people, but you definitely do it to me.
I think I do it to other people too. I do. And you know why?
But their kindness is their superpower and they don't say anything.
No. I think it's because my wheels turn slower than most people and it takes thoughts a little bit longer to get delivered, to my mouth. And so in my brain, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to say it. But then it's like getting sent to my mouth. And now you're talking. And then I'm going, oh yeah. Now I finally have what it's just, I'm just a little slow.
You're really a little bit slow with your
It's like a slingshot, like it's being pulled back. And then when it comes out, it's just bam, always at the wrong time. And it's right when someone else is speaking.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah. But I need to work on that. I'm sorry.
We'll talk about that on the next episode.
Next episode's going to be fun.
So guys, I had finally, you guys all went and watched the video, right? So obviously I have already sent the card off. First off, let me tell you how it kind of went before that
package.
Video.
The package.
So I went out to the grocery store because I was the one in charge of making dinner last night. So I had to get some stuff for dinner. And I took the card with me because I was already it was there. It had the stamp. All I had to do was lick it and send it off, right?
Lick it and stick it. Just lick it and stick it.
Lick it and stick it. So I was like, okay, well, I'll do it on the way back, coming back from the store. So as we live in a gated community, so I was sitting there punching in the code and I see the postman. So I immediately pull out my phone. I'm like fumbling because I got groceries in the front seat, everything.
Because she's like, no one's going to believe me if I tell them I sent it.
Exactly. And I said I was going to do a video, so I was going to do a video. So I'm like fumbling for my phone. I'm trying to go slow. There's a car behind me. And I finally get to recording. And I'm like, okay, so I shoot the video, right? Which is awesome. Turns out great. I run up to the mailman. But what you guys didn't see was when I shut the video off, as I was recording, when I zoomed in to the postman, he saw me recording him from my car. So I parked on the side. There's cars
creepy.
Me, and that's when I'm like, okay, guys, I'm going to send it off, bye. I click it off and I run up to him and I think I kind of startled him because I came whipping around the van. And I said, hey, can I send this? And he looks at me and goes, yeah, of course. And I was like, oh, okay, awesome. And I was like, thank you. And then he kind of looks at me and goes, were you recording? And of course I was like, yeah, I was recording. And then I had to go into the whole story as to why I was recording because I didn't want to sound creepy of I was recording.
Yeah, I was
recording. How
much time do you have?
Bye. So I had to tell him, I said, no, my brother and I, we do this podcast and I've been trying to send this letter out. And I said, I just got lazy and I go, I'm finally here trying to send it off. And of course I'm saying this because I ran across the street. So I'm saying it all without in one breath, yeah, no. Okay, so we do a podcast, me and my brother. And I'm like, yeah, I was recording because I told him I was going to record it for the guy because I had to send him this letter and it's already been 10 episodes. And and of course he's just looking at me nodding his head as he's just trying to put the mail into the mailboxes. And I'm like, okay, well. Exciting.
And you were 6 feet away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. I should have been. So by the time that ends, I'm like, okay. So I called Nick. I sent him the video, and I kind of tell Nick a little bit of the story. And I'm like, yeah, I creeped the mailman out, and so we were just laughing about it. And then this is part 2 now.
Here's the part that people haven't heard yet.
Yeah, this is it. This is not on video. So I go to Target today. Just because I was just literally bored out of my mind, guys.
So that was the last time you'd driven your car, though. Let's not leave any details. Was that the last time you'd driven your car? Was when you did that? Okay.
Yes, that was it. Because we don't.
So today was your first time driving the car since delivering the package to Chris Phillips.
The package. So I go to Target, and I always put, if I don't have a bunch of groceries, I always just kind of put them in my front seat, right? So put them in the front seat, everything, and I'm pulling into the gate, and I just like happened to look down because I think I was just like, oh, okay, I could take all this in like one go around. But I look down, and I see this brown thing, kind of like a gift card holder. It's a Starbucks gift card holder. I look down, and
what were you thinking before you opened it up? What were you thinking?
Yeah, my mind starts turning. I'm sure you guys have always done this where it's like you look at something and suddenly like your eyes get real big and you're trying to retrace your footsteps. So I was trying to retrace my footsteps of the previous day. And I'm thinking, that's a Starbucks gift card holder. And I started thinking, did I put the gift card in the card? So then I'm like instantly debating with myself. And I go, yeah, you put the gift card in the card before you sealed it up. But then my other side comes out and says, Audrey, you wouldn't have taken it out of the gift card holder. It would have been in the gift card holder and then into the card. And I reach real slowly down to it. Like, I'm just like, please tell me I put the gift card into the card. Well, Chris, you got a card coming, but there is no gift card.
And the plot thickens.
So immediately I call Nick. I try to FaceTime him. But I guess when my phone is hooked up to my car, it doesn't allow me to FaceTime. So I have to unhook it and everything. Or disconnect it. And I FaceTime Nick, and Nick's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, so Chris has got a card coming. And then I show him the gift card. I'm like, but the gift card is not in the card.
Sorry, Chris. And did you see the awesome picture that Chris posted in response to your video? It was so cool.
No, my God. I'm like,
it was awesome because I was actually with him. We were hanging out and he just kind of disappeared. Like didn't even like say anything. He was just like, didn't even realize he had disappeared for a second. And then I saw that post. I'm like, oh, that's where you went. He went down the mailbox, snapped that photo. It was awesome too. I was like, what genius photo.
I couldn't believe, like, and then of course instantly in my head, like right before I called you, Nick, I'm like, should I just Venmo the guy? Like at this point, or what should I do? And I'm like,
it's got to be the real deal now.
Well, it has to be the real deal. And secondly, I'm like, I already put the money on the gift card. Like,
yes,
I already got the gift card. So part 2 video on its way. And not only that, but then I was upset because I'm like, I just went to Target. I could have gotten a card in a stamp.
And then I'll get video of us using the Starbucks card. And
you better tell the Starbucks person
the whole story. And then tell them they have to listen to this episode. Listen to every episode. Listen to it. Go listen to the Stretched Out podcast.
Mainly episode 1 and this episode.
Yes. This is episode 10. Can you believe we made double digits today?
Oh, 10? I thought this was 11. I thought the last one was 10.
No, the last one was 9.
See, quarantine land. You just no rules.
We made double digits this time around, which is pretty exciting.
Double digits. So, Chris, I got your gift card. Send that out tomorrow after I go to the vet because we got to take Rio to the vet tomorrow. So you're probably just gonna get it a day late from your card, or maybe 2 days late.
Probably.
Right? It takes 3 days in the mail to send a letter.
I don't know.
I think that's what it is.
I don't send letters. I have text messages and Facebook Messenger and.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's a beautiful message in that card.
I'm sure there is. He's gonna end up taking pictures of it. I'm sure and sharing it with us.
And I'm sorry that my handwriting is so ugly. I honestly was gonna like type it up and then print it out because I hate my handwriting so much. My handwriting is not a female girly handwriting. Alyssa has beautiful handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
I think I inherited dad's handwriting.
Do you write in all caps?
I prefer to, yes, sometimes.
Yeah, you write like that, and that's how I write. I write in cursive when I'm not writing. When I'm writing like print, I write in all caps, but I write in cursive everywhere else.
My cursive is just like a jungle because I'm too lazy to lift up the pen. That's what mine is.
Wow.
That's how lazy I am sometimes. But at the same time,
let's figure out why you're so lazy. Like, why are you that? Like, let's figure that out. Like, why? I just want to understand why you're so lazy when it comes to that. Why don't you want to lift up the pen?
I don't know. Just easier to just do cursive. But when's the last time you've actually written a letter? Think about that.
Shoot.
Remember when we used to have to handwrite essays?
Oh gosh, I totally remember that. Yeah. It was no fun.
Like now it's like you just type.
I'm so glad that I took typing in 7th grade because I was able to type everything like through high school. Like I rarely had to handwrite. It was always, I typed everything.
I remember I had my English teacher. He made us write stuff. Somebody came in with a typed up paper, and he was like, "It needs to be handwritten."
Dang.
I was just like, and at the time, like that's when technology was like really starting to, we were in the technology boom kind of thing. That I was like, what's the difference? Why can't they just write it? Or what?
Yeah, you were like in kindergarten when iPads came out, right?
Shut up.
No.
I still remember where you had the A, B, C. You had to plug in your little which I don't even know what it was called. There was a little box, and you had to plug the computer into like slot A, B, or C to work on it. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
No way.
Little box in A, B, and C. No.
Yeah, you went into computer class. I did it in elementary school.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, we had like the first Macintosh computer.
I'm a little older, so I had the abacus.
Atticus?
Abacus. Little thing little calculator, like a little manual calculator with like little beads on it. You slide from left to right.
Shut up. Yeah.
That's what I was using.
I was like, what?
I'm just kidding.
I thought it was software.
I'm just kidding. But my neighbor Matthew is actually very familiar with those, the abacus, because that's what he grew up on. So just messing with you, buddy.
Shots fired?
Yeah, I was just messing with him. We always like to.
I would say go toilet paper his house, but that's really expensive these days, so don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't just go showing that stuff off around these days. Flaunting what you've got. You don't do that. So yeah, I don't think we did a very good job talking about kindness being your superpower, but I don't think we've done a good job about talking about any of the topic, like any of like the titles. Like I don't think any of our episodes have been relevant. So I say we just keep it going. I think it's our thing now. People go, yeah, the title kind of doesn't mean anything. It's like, remember that show, Whose Line Is It Anyway? Remember Mom loved that show.
I love that show.
Right? It's this. Our titles are the same thing as points on Whose Line Is It Anyway. The points don't matter. And Drew Carey would be like 1,000 points to you because they don't matter. So same thing here. The titles just really don't matter. So just know that.
Keeping your guys on your toes. That's all it is.
That's right. Tis right. So we got anything else we want to do? Shout outs or anything like that? I didn't really mean to cut you off early on the last episode like I did, but I had to pee so bad. And I was like, oh my God, I got to go. Like,
oh, I don't even remember you cutting me off that bad.
Yeah, I did with the music. I brought the music in quick status while you were talking.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it was like you were trying to give like your Emmy thank yous, and I was like bringing in the music hot and heavy, like it's time to go. Like I didn't even fade it in well. Like it just started.
Sorry to everybody. I was trying to give a shout out. Nick was like, "Get off the freaking mic."
Yeah, like you were talking, and I didn't even fade it in. Like I didn't even have, I wasn't even that polite.
It just blared.
Yeah, it just came on. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's funny. I just want to give a shout out to Target for keeping me entertained this week in the grocery store. Our grocery stores, you have to stand 6 feet apart now, so there's tape on the floor. It's like something new every day.
Yeah.
So that was my new thing.
Sounds like fun.
Be kind. Be kind this week, guys.
Yeah, be kind every week. Please be kind.
Yeah,
please be kind. And I'm going to start asking you guys to, share our episodes with friends and family, right? If they hate it, they're not going to hate you.
They're going to hate us for listening to our voice.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. If they don't like it, they don't like it. But share it with people. People are bored looking for stuff to listen to.
Share your favorite episode with somebody. They don't have to start at episode 1 either.
Well, if you say that, you got a lot of people waiting. People are going, well, haven't had a favorite yet. So how long?
That's a good.
Oh gosh!
I was like, why are they gonna wait? Blonde moment, guys. Blonde moment.
Yeah, that was great. Right over the top there. No, I think be kind, all that jazz. We're gonna try to do another episode for you guys in between this one and our next one as well, just because we know that there's probably a need for it. So
everyone's
trying to do our part.
And
trying to do our part.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to fade this in. I've been doing a bad job of that lately.
Shout out to the people who did the intro, Jenna and Peter.
Oh, yes.
An amazing intro, guys.
Thank you so much. We've got some other great intros too. Lauren, shout out to you because you were the very first, which is awesome. So only one person has that. And then, yeah, thank you so much to Jenna and Peter. I thought that was so cool. And just like,
it sums
almost
up
like
their personalities.
yeah, you guys did such a good job on that intro that I almost felt like I had to pay for it. Like I
Yes.
felt myself questioning, like, how much did we pay them for this? So really appreciate that.
But continue to send in your intros. Text me, voice
DM.
memo, something.
Give them your DM. Give them your Instagram.
So it's Audrey, AUDREY _stretch. That's it. That's all it is. Simple. Audrey Stretch.
All right, everybody. We love you. Be
Love you
kind.
guys.
See y'all next
Stay
time.
safe.
Peace.